Breaking news, our coverage of the terror attacks in Brussels. New information coming into the 7 Action newsroom.
Here's what we know right now. Belgian police releasing a picture they consider possible suspects. The man on the right, dressed in a white shirt and jacket, is believed to still be on the run tonight. The other 2 men are said to have died in the suicide bombing at the airport.
An ISIS-linked website says that terror group is taking credit for the deadly attack. Raids conducted late this afternoon turned up a nail bomb, chemicals, and an ISIS flag. As for the death toll, at least 34 people have been confirmed dead.
Our Brianne Palmerini is live in our newsroom tonight with what else we're learning tonight. Brianne?
Well, Stephen and Carolyn, on top of that rising death toll, we know at least 250 people were injured in the attacks. And right now, officials in Belgium say it's too early to confirm if these attacks are connected to the terror attacks in Paris, but Belgian security sources told CNN it is their working assumption that the same network did both. It started with 2 explosions at the airport outside of security checkpoints around 8 a.m. Brussels time. About an hour later, an explosion at a nearby subway station close to a number of European Union offices. Both attacks at peak morning hours.
I can't explain. It looked like war. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's really hard.
Officials now saying they discovered a 3rd bomb at the airport which did not go off, and police are searching for the man on the right in this picture.
So many people panicked. So many people cried.
All of the terror happening just 4 days after the arrest of Salah Abdeslam, the last suspect from November's Paris attacks.
We were fearing terrorist attacks, and that has now happened.
These images on Twitter showing Brussels at the highest state of alert.
Everyone was scared, so everyone ran.
In a show of solidarity, the streets of Brussels are now covered with messages of hope and prayers for the victims. President Obama also vowing support and condemned the attacks from Havana, Cuba.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible.
And the search for that possible living suspect is in full swing. The country working on tightening security at the borders, and the airport in Brussels will remain closed until tomorrow. In the newsroom, Brianne Palmerini, 7 Action News.
Brianne, thank you for the update.
Well, the former head of Detroit's FBI field office is responding to today's terror attacks.
Simon Shaquette is live. Continue our coverage tonight. Simon?
Stephen, Carolyn, Andy Arena has sent terrorists away to prison for life, and he says in this case we are seeing major flaws in security.
Big bang, everybody cried and came along here. We saw kind of smoke, you know.
Today's terror attacks claiming more than 30 lives in Brussels, striking fear into many communities. Former FBI special agent in charge, Andy Arena, says this type of terror can happen anywhere.
I think it's the new normal.
In Europe, terror groups operate with less restrictive borders and are tougher to intercept. They may also live in areas where law enforcement cannot keep watch.
We don't have vast groups of immigrants who have not assimilated into our society like you have in Europe. You've got suburbs of Paris, suburbs of Brussels that are police and law enforcement and intelligence communities don't go into. And they've got thousands of people who've traveled into Iraq and Syria, have trained with ISIS and are now back.
Here in the U.S., both intel gathering and other anti-terrorism efforts are often focused on groups like ISIS. But there are also fears attacks like these can inspire others radicalized online.
We could get a copycat. That worries me.
Now, Arena says these guys may have trained in camps, and now global resources are being used to track their backgrounds and to find out who's been giving them money. Carolyn, back to you.
All right, thank you much, Simon. The Brussels attack triggered stepped-up security at major U.S. airports, even though the government says there's no specific credible intelligence of any plots against the U.S. There does not appear to be any major impact at Detroit Metro Airport. We did not see any big lines at checkpoints, and many travelers told us they would not change their travel plans.
Former Oakland University basketball player Sebastian Bellin suffered serious injuries in the explosions at the Brussels airport. We're told the force threw him 50 feet, and he has shrapnel wounds in his leg and hip. Bellin, we're told, has undergone 2 surgeries, but is expected to recover from this. The native of Belgium is now in his 30s. He played pro ball in Europe after he left OU. Belgians, of course, have deep roots here in Metro Detroit. Today's attacks obviously hitting home for them. Our Jim Kirchner standing by live on the east side, where they regularly gather. Jim?
Yeah, Stephen, we're talking about this, the Cadieux Cafe, obviously on Cadieux here on Detroit's east side, and the sign says it all. Here's why. Over 70 beers, darts. Darts part of the unique Belgian atmosphere and America's only feather bowling. We're going to show you what that is in a minute, but obviously tonight the concern is about their homeland.
Right away Paris came to mind, 9/11 came to mind. And you feel for the people. You know, you don't understand why these things happen.
Once you step inside the Cadieux Cafe, you're taking a trip back in time and thousands of miles back to Belgium. Hundreds from Metro Detroit come here because this is their connection to home and fellow countrymen. Tonight, like the rest of the world, they're watching home under attack.
There's a big insurgence, you know, of Islam coming into Belgium right now, and Paris and France. After the Paris thing, they just caught that guy now in Belgium. You know, that could have a lot to do with what happened.
Belgium, very small country, very small, peaceful area. This is the type of fight that we have.
And the spirit of life goes on. If you have any doubt about Belgian roots, you'll see them play out here in the Feather Bowling Alley. Yep. This is a game that's so popular, some evening leagues are closed to new players. They're full. The Wall of Champions each year gets an honorary picture drawn by a renowned local courtroom sketch artist. Ron is up here twice over the last 25 years.
The year 700.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like these old
Centuries,
Latin things, and then there's actually like pictures of people bowling and stuff in the pictures. So yeah, it goes way back, way back.
So life goes on, and right on the other side of the wall is that Feather Bowling Alley, and there is a TV on inside where they're watching the latest developments in Belgium. Live on Detroit's east side, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
All right, thank you so much, Jim.